Hey everybody, I was just finishing up my Switzerland versus Sweden game when there was a knock on the door and this arrived on the doorstep from Play.com. I never really thought I would be into the fictional sets at all, but after seeing a few videos on them and creating a couple of fictional sets myself, team sets, not league sets, kind of got me curious on it. And like I said, I do like the History Maker Baseball game itself, the way it's played. So I wanted to give it a try and see if I could enjoy the Baseball America set. So that's what I ordered. I also ordered the 1967 set because A, it was a good price, and B, 67 is a year that I really enjoy, even though it's only 2 years old. I do like the history of that year, the great pennant races. And I've got that season on a couple of other game engines as well. So I figured why not, while this was being shipped, why not throw that in there too. So let's see what we got here. A little unbagging, I guess you'd call it. It's not an unboxing, it's more of an unbagging because they're in the envelope here. So let's see what we got. Well, we got a letter, first of all, from Keith. All right, nice little letter there from Keith. All right, let's see what we got here. We'll pull the first one out. Or are they all in the one? They might be all in one plastic container. I believe they are. Okay, they're all under one big plastic thing here. Here's the 67 suggested lineups. So let's undo this with one hand if I can. I probably should have done this before I started the video. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we got here. If I can pull this out, there we go. All right, so that is the 67 set. And here is the 1967 umpires that were in the game. I do remember some of these guys. I remember Augie Donatelli. I do remember Doug Harvey. I remember Shag Crawford. John Kibler, Lee Wire. They're all familiar to me. Probably some other. Jerry Neudecker is a familiar name. Marty Springstead is a familiar name. Ed Runge. So obviously some names I know and some names I don't know. And then we've got the 67 set, starting with Baltimore, assuming they're in alphabetical order. So we'll run these down the line here until I get to the end of the 67 set. And here we are in St. Louis. And let's see what we got here. All right, here's the extra players, because I did order the extra players. I didn't feel like taking the time to print them. So I figured for a couple bucks more, I would order them. So that's what I did. So I got those out of the way. And now we've got the Baseball America 2016 set, Team 1. And it gives this is the first time I ever bought one of these sets, so it's new for me. Some of you folks who have done it before, I'm sure, are well versed in this. But for those who haven't bought a fictional set, this is what you get. It's set up in 12 teams. And they give the records of the 12 teams. And let's see here. I'm not going to read the whole thing on here, but it's got a instant results table. And we've got some umpires, some fictional umpires. So I do remember Ron Lundy from the 14 set, I believe. When Steve Tower was playing out the Baseball America set for 14, I think Ron Lundy may have been an umpire on that. Manny Hernandez might have been an umpire as well. I'm trying to remember the names. Those two seem to stick out. Don't see Eddie McCalland. I think he was the crew chief in that game, but that's okay. Can't have everybody. And umpires switch off same as players do. So we come over here and we've got Josh Bell. Remember now, he is a first baseman in real life for the Pirates. I think he's a first baseman. But this is a different Josh Bell. This is in the fictional set. And you can see they have the 2016, if I get my finger out of the way, you can see, 2016 and season with a 1 in brackets. That means that these players, if you want to sort them the way Play.com has them sorted, they would all go on the same team with that team 1. And then over here it starts team 2. And it just goes all the way through up until team 12. And then you get the pitchers in teams 1 through 12 as well. And what I like to do as far as trying to store these teams, I go to Walmart and they sell 2-inch bags in quantities of 100. 100 count bag for $2. So I figure you can't beat that. $2, you get 100 of these plastic sheets. When you take them out individually, they're like this, and the teams can go in there. I've got so many extra of these, I'm thinking about possibly using the 1-inch versions of these to put them over individual cards, particularly over my Atlanta Braves cards that I have my hands on all the time to try to save on wear and tear. I may do that. So anyway, I'm kind of pumped about this. I mean, I am playing my 87 Brave set, but sometimes you like to get a diversion from that and not play the same teams over and over and over. So certainly this fictional set and the 1967 set are both look pretty nice. Nice quality cards, and I'm curious to see about their particular properties and qualities and see how they play out. Some interesting names on here. I'm not sure I can pronounce all of them, but you know, hey, Chris Finocchiaro, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. Kerry Nakamura, I guess it's how it's pronounced. So we got some interesting names there. I remember Doug Rosello. That seems to be a name that I remember from previous seasons. So I guess there are some carryovers. There is no, from what I understand, there is no Doug Smoltz, but I may have to create a Doug Smoltz. I remember Eddie Machado. I remember him from the 14 season. So there's some interesting people in here. Jim Kemper, certainly a name I remember from Steve Towers' New England Minutemen team. That was really good in his video. They seemed to take it to Cape Cod pretty good in the video I saw. And let's see here, anything else? We got two Fonteneaus. I wonder if they're related. Gavin and Gus Fontenot. Interesting. All right, Mike Vesberg, I remember that name. So it looks like maybe they're out there, but maybe they're reassigned to different teams now. I'm not sure. I will certainly play around with it. Pardon the pun. Play around with it with 1A and see how it goes. I'm also, of course, interested in the 67 set. Be curious to see how some of these players are rated in the 67 set, as far as some of the big power hitters, like maybe a Frank Howard from Washington. Let's see, I'm sure he's got a home run or a slugger quality at least, if not a home run quality. So let's see what we've got here. Mickey Mantle. Did you ever think Mickey Mantle would be semi-utility? But he is. Let's see here. There he is, Frank Howard. He's a home run king. He was certainly a whiffer. It was either hit or miss there. Ed Brinkman is the definitive utility shortstop, so the fact that he's semi-sad sack, semi-utility, and a scrapper is not surprising whatsoever. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, there's Joe Torre from Atlanta. And I don't know a whole lot. There's actually Bob Uecker is in this set. He's a sad sack and a whiffer. That sounds like Bob Uecker. And he's also iron. So, you know, can you get much worse than that? And he's a stoic base runner. I mean, the only thing he's got going for him is a semi-icon. Other than that, he's in bad shape. I really know only the American League 67 season because of the great pennant race. The Impossible Dream season of 67. Let's look at Carl Yastrzemski. 67, he's a semi-champion, a slugger, a semi-home run king, and he's semi-patient, plus he's a gold left fielder. So very good card there for Yastrzemski. And, of course, the pitching star was Jim Lonborg that season. He's a star flash with semi-control. So looks like it's definitely going to be an interesting season to play out. Doubt I'll do a season replay with it, but it's always nice to have something to not play the same teams over and over and over. So get a little variety in there. So thank you, Keith, for your product. I continue to be a faithful patron because I believe in the product and I believe in the quality of the product. And I believe in the helping out the entrepreneur that comes up with these brilliant ideas for these games. Keith, I don't know how you did it. I couldn't have sat down and created this kind of game. So obviously you got inspiration from somewhere. Whatever it was a great inspiration because the the game itself does really, really well. And I'm going to try something and be right back. All right, I was mentioning about the Walmart baggies here. You get 100 of those for $2, this particular size. They also have a smaller size. You get 100 of those for $1. And when I was watching the video from Kiefer's channel about History Maker Baseball, and he was talking about protecting your cards, I thought, you know what, as much as I'm going to be handling these 87 Braves cards, it's probably a good idea. So I said, let me see if these 1-inch baggies work. So, lo and behold, they do work. So there is Deion James. He is now protected in this sleeve, so I'm not putting my fingers all over this card. It's going to help keep the card in better shape as much as it gets handled, and hopefully will help the corners as well, although I've been thinking about corner rounding these things, but I think I'll leave them as is. But you get 100 of these for $1, so I may go out and get another pack of those and use these for the cards I just purchased, because I think it'll help preserve the investment. And I don't think there'll be any big deal. There's a little bit of an overlap here as you're trying to play, but honestly, I don't think it'll be that, where it's that much of a problem. I'll find out though, because I'm getting ready to play Game 42 in the Braves season replay against the Cubs. So, and I'm going to have all these players in the sleeves. So we'll see if that's going to be a problem. I'll kind of give a demonstration of that real time here shortly, and we'll see what happens. So that's going to do it. I'm trying to determine whether I should put the Braves video piggyback on this one or have this be a separate one. I guess I'll have it be a separate one. We shall see, whatever the mood strikes. I do have some breaking down to do though, because obviously the cards are coming in sheets, so the perforations are there, and to me that's part of the fun. Maybe I'm just weird, but I'm the kind of guy that likes to go around and pop the bubble wrap in the packaging materials and stuff like that. So the unperforating is a kind of a fun little thing in itself to me. I know I'm a little strange on that, but hey, like the Doors sang, people are strange. So hopefully it's a good strange anyway. That's going to do it from here. And I will catch you all, hopefully, for Game 42 of the Braves and the Cubs. Okay, guys, I'm going to do a second part to this little small video. I didn't plan to, but just crossed my mind to do it. So this is the Baseball America set all broken down into the teams, and they've been assigned their ballparks. And the umpiring crews have been distributed to the first 6 teams with home games. There are 12 teams, so there's 6 games, which means we need 6 umpiring crews. There's actually more umpires than needed, but the extra ones can be, put in reserve. And what I try to do for the umpires is to mix up their qualities so that we don't have like 3 lenient umpires in the same crew. So I try to mix and match as best I could for that. The ballpark stadiums, I tried to vary that up and make sure that a lot of the variety was done. Some of the ballparks, it's kind of neat. Some of the ballparks have qualities to them that are different than just small or large. For instance, Dot Cola Park says all normal fielders are rated as semi-gold due to the consistent excellent conditions. So when the home games are played at Dot Cola Park, everyone who is a neutral fielder now becomes semi-gold. So that's a nice little perk for them. City Suburban Sports Dome is a small ballpark, artificial turf. It's obviously indoors. It's a dome. So it says Dice 1 on Home Run King column of Fence Microchart is home run instead of fly out. So on the Fence check, when you're a Home Run King, everyone hits a home run unless the die rolls a 1. This says forget about it. If you get to the Fence check and he's a Home Run King, it's an automatic home run. Then we go to the next one is Pimlico Park. And it says all Home Run King, semi-Home Run King batters are considered to be Home Run Kings at this park because it's so small. So if you got a semi-Home Run King, you do not need a decider die to give him the home run. skipping over here to Suncoast Capital Stadium. It says right-handed batters roll a side or die on 1-3-3 flyout result. If you get a dot or a bullet on the side or die, it's a home run, and it's blank. If not, it's a flyout on a blank. And scrappers fly out either way, because it's plays small to right-handed batters and normal to left-handed batters. So right-handed batters get a small perk there. And then the next one is kind of a funny name, Biddy Beer Ballpark. Biddy Beer Ballpark says, roll the side or die on all foul outs. On a dot result, the ball carries into the seats instead of being caught for an out. So anytime we get a foul out result, since the park is so small, we're going to roll the side or die, and it could be a pop out. It could be into the bleachers, so that the batter stays at bat for another try. And it's like that for some of the other parks as well. The parks I did not use, there were 18 parks that came with the game. The parks I did not pick were Sentinel Mutual Field, Mogrove Farm Field, Gulf Oil Park, A to Z Auto Parts Stadium, Rubicon Wireless, and Lone Star Financial. The parks I did use, Signal Health Park, which is a park that I know was in the games in the 2014 set, County Stadium, National Motors Park, Classic Bank Park, Foursquare.com Field, and Amicable Insurance Park. So those are the 18 parks that came with the game. We had let's see here, some umpires that were extra that were not in the original 6-man crew or 6-game crew of 4. So we only needed 24 umpires, and the game actually came with 32. So we've got these extra umpires there. And we got a whole lot of free agents. We've got free agent batters here and free agent pitchers here. So if you notice on the 2016 season, they are not assigned a team number. So that means they are a free agent. So as the season rolls along, if you get injuries or if you want to farm somebody out, if you want to pick up a free agent, you can certainly do that with these players. I'm not sure what kind of extended season I'm going to have with this, because I'm already doing the 87 Braves season. So I got to consider time factor as well. But I want to make it worth my while. I don't want to play a 10-game season and call it a season. So maybe I'm looking for potentially some advice from you guys who do the fictional sets or fictional seasons. There are 12 teams. So I was trying to figure out if a team played, obviously they're playing 11 other teams. If you play a team 2 times at home and 2 times on the road, that's 44 games. So I thought 44 games might be decent to be enough of a season that can realistically be played and still have enough games to represent, a body of work. I thought about just picking one of the teams and playing all their games, and then having the HistoryMaker Universal Instant Results chart based on the team's winning percentages play out the other games. Maybe play a few one-off games so I can at least play with each team once, because what I'm planning on doing is breaking these teams down into 2 6-team divisions. So maybe I'll pick one team from each division and play as them. I don't know. I've got to figure all that stuff out. I don't even have team names for these teams yet, other than teams 1 through 12. So I'm really looking for some advice on what people use as team names, whether you use local towns in your area. Thought about maybe doing cities that don't have baseball teams like Las Vegas, or major league teams like Las Vegas and Memphis, teams like that have minor league teams but don't have major league teams. So thought about doing that. Not really sure the best way to approach it. So I guess in some backwards way, I'm reaching out to you guys for comments, the folks that do the fictional set. What do you guys suggest on that? And to store the cards, I get these tubs for $1 at Walmart. Work very well. I've got the 67 professional set in here already, and this easily fits the 67 set and this 2016 set all in one tub. So it makes it for easy storage and easy tracking. And what I may do as well is when I was perforating the cards, the last page had 2 rows of blank cards. So I may put this in the printer and print off a couple of fictional players for myself just to add to the league. I may bring Doug Snowles out of retirement. I haven't figured that one out yet. Also might draft a couple of the Sweden guys or Switzerland guys from my other game, particularly Lucas Steiner. He certainly had a good game. So that's a possibility. You know, all kinds of possibilities exist there. Like I believe it was Steve Tower said on his channel one time, when you do these fictional sets, you're creating your own universe, so there is no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever you feel like doing. And as Outback Steakhouse used to say, no rules, just right. So this is what they look like after they all get broken down and put into storage baggies and so forth. And just thought I would show that to show the difference between what they look like when they arrive and what they look like when they're ready for play. Like I said, I had a lot of fun sorting these and figuring out which stadium I wanted to give each team and so forth, and which umpires I wanted to use for the season, trying to mix and match the qualities. So I'm looking forward to getting the fictional season started eventually. But first of all, like I said, I've got to come up with a schedule, and I've also got to come up with team names. So I'm looking for potential advice on one or both of those from the Play.com community, those that have done the fictional baseball sets. I'm definitely open to any advice you have. I'm leaning towards naming the teams after cities that don't have major league teams but have minor league teams. I don't know if I want to go with a fictional city or with a podunk town city. Keep it all local for all the local teams in my state. I'm not sure how we want to do that. We'll figure it out. That's part of the fun, I guess, is trying to be creative enough, but make it make sense enough to have a fun time doing it. And that's the whole point of the exercise, is having fun. And with these cards, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who's supposed to be good, who's not supposed to be good. Nobody has a set record that I'm trying to get them to reach. So it's just all in fun, playing the game and watching the game system at work with fictional players. So that's it from here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my weekend and mull over how I want to handle this as far as team names and schedules. Like I said, I'm kind of leaning towards the 44-game schedule, where each team plays the other team 4 times, twice at home and twice on the road. Or I was thinking about possibly doing something where with 2 6th division teams, possibly they play more teams in their own division. Those 5 teams in their division, maybe play them 6 times and play the other teams 3 times maybe, or something along those lines, so that you get more of an unbalanced schedule to make division play a little more important. So we'll see. Depends on how much time I have, want to devote to it, and how many games I want to play. If I want to get up to 72 games, that could be a little more daunting, but we'll see. So I'm hoping for any help out there that can give me some tips, what they've done in the past that's worked for them. Something they've always wanted to try but never did it. Maybe I can try it. And I'm curious to get this thing going. I would love to get it going soon and put out a opening day video for this. I think it would be kind of cool. Don't know, I don't think Al Wilson has any fictional stadium pictures for these ballparks the way he does for the major league teams. So we'll just have to go with the generic game boards from Play.com. But that's okay. All right. That's it from here. Everybody, hope everybody has a wonderful Labor Day weekend, the rest of their weekend. Whatever you're doing, I hope you are safe and playing whatever game you enjoy. And I will see everybody down the road.